All right, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, but let's get right to it. My wife and I just got back from a matinee of Aladdin, the 2019, the new one with Will Smith. And I have to say, we were both very, very entertained, okay? First of all, you have to go into this movie, especially if you're not young and you remember the original animated version. You have to go into this movie and forget Robin Williams, okay? Which is hard to do, but you know, he only provided the voice to that animation, and his performance was only as good as the voice could be, but it's the animation that brought the character to life. I mean, I love Robin Williams, but if you're going into this thing with some sort of chip on your shoulder about Robin Williams being the only Aladdin and all that kind of stuff, guys, you got to let that go, man, because this is a really solid film. Guy Ritchie did a great job directing the movie. He also was one of the writers. Will Smith did a fantastic job, as only Will Smith can do, with playing the genie, and of course he played the mariner in the beginning, which starts to tell the story, and it kind of wraps up at the end. I'm going to talk about the movie, so there's going to be spoilers, so if you don't want to hear anything going forward, you know, skip this, come back to it later. But so first of all, Will Smith did a great job, and he brought a really fresh take to the character. If you follow Will Smith on his social media, or you know, you've been following his career lately as it's kind of gone to a whole new level, where you felt like Will Smith was having some downtime, but now it's like there's this big comeback coming. I'll tell you what, man, he nailed it. I mean, I was laughing in a lot of the scenes. You know, I think there was a lot of criticism of how he looked blue, but you know, just like in the animated version, you know, he snaps his finger and he turns into human form, and so on and so on. And the CGI didn't distract me or get me pulled out of the movie like I thought it would. I would have rather seen them do like they did with Josh Brolin and Thanos, and make the genie look like the animated genie when he came out. But they kept it with like a Will Smith's face, but it was completely CGI. I mean, they must have had the dots on him and the whole 9 yards. And but all of the visual effects were great. Mena Massoud, who played Aladdin, was fantastic. Naomi Scott, who played Jasmine, was fantastic. The colors in this movie were beautiful. I mean, they were just, it was just as bright as the cartoon. They were just beautiful colors here and there. The animation of all the animals, whether it was Iago, you know, the tiger, the elephants, the ostriches, all on par with like Jungle Book and like the new Lion King trailers. Just really photorealistic animals, you know, that all had the personalities and stuff of the characters. The dancing was amazing. Hats off to the choreography. The songs were great. There were, I think, 2 new original songs. My wife and I talked about it after the movie was over. One of them was this one called Speechless, where Jafar had told Jasmine, you know, no one cares about what you think, you know, you're a princess, but no one cares. Basically, only a man can rule the world. And she does this, you know, social justice warrior type song about being speechless and finding her voice, and you're not going to shut me out. And then, of course, you know, her character comes full circle, where she, you know, does this monologue where she just like shuts everything down at the end. It's great. I get it. It's a different time. I think that's what my wife and I were talking about. It's like, you know, you have to introduce things that are current with what's going on in the world. And I think like Jasmine only had one solo song in the original animated version, which was shared in the whole new world. But now they gave her more to do in this one. I will say Iago was played by Alan Tudyk, and I didn't even know that Iago was Alan Tudyk until the end of the film, and I saw it in the credits. It seems like a waste. Iago might have had 5 or 6 lines, and he didn't sound, it was very hard to understand what Iago was saying because they either pitched it and made it sound like a parrot. I don't know why they just didn't get Gilbert Gottfried to come back and play Iago again. It really would have punched it away. I mean, I know like with the new Lion King coming out, they had James Earl Jones come back to do Mustafa, but they've pretty much recast everyone else in the Lion King because how do you replace James Earl Jones? It's almost like that too. Like Iago was so instrumental in the cartoon, the animated version with Gilbert Gottfried. You know, Jaffa. You know, it was just like really over the top. This. You can barely hear the parrot talking. It just didn't do anything for. I didn't even, like I said, I couldn't understand the dialogue the parrot was saying, Iago, and then seeing in the credits that it was Alan Tudyk, I was like, what a waste, because he's so talented. And he could have done more with that. I don't know why they pulled the reins back on that. Apu stole the show throughout the entire movie, along, I guess you could say Will Smith and Apu, for me, stole the movie all the way through. Great animation of Apu. You know, you really felt in some of the scenes, especially at the end when his eyes welled up with like these tears. You could see like they did such a great job with the animation. So I give this movie an A. You know, it's already raked in $200 million. It did fantastic over Memorial Day weekend. I think it pulled in $93 million for the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday 3-day weekend. So it's making money. And I think it'll continue to make money once school lets out and all that other kind of stuff. The next 3 or 4 weeks, this movie's going to make bank. And then, of course, when it gets released overseas, it's going to do really well. I think Will Smith just did an awesome performance. The credits are awesome. There's dance numbers throughout the beginning portion of the credits, and there's a really good song with Will Smith and DJ Khaled, which is like a take on You're Never Gonna Have a Friend Like Me, with a rap with this. And then there's this really cool thing that they did twice in the movie where once Will Smith as the genie was singing and dancing and doing his song, and then broke into some beatboxing, and then at the end it was a great moment where Princess Jasmine and all of her people were doing the last number during the credit roll, and they all started beatboxing, and it was really cool. And again, it's like, this is a movie for now. It's not an animated movie from back then. So you gotta go into this thing with clear eyes, and you gotta just have a great time. That's what we did. We had a great time. We laughed. You know, I even had a lump in my throat towards the end, you know, when everything came together. And I'll tell you what, the magic carpet ride, you know, A Whole New World, beautiful CGI. I mean, some of the best CGI out there. I mean, they really nailed this thing out of the park. If you were reprehensive because of some of the earlier trailers that came out without finished special effects, I was that guy. I kept saying, I hope that by the time the movie comes out, everything's fully fleshed out. They did a great job. So I really liked Aladdin. What did you think? Let's talk about it in the comments section, and we'll see you on the next video.